Okay, gang, this is Transformation Thursday, and I told you on Wednesday we had something really special, another panel. These are three more people that are doing the physical therapy workouts, using those to help in different areas. So you're going to get to hear from three brand new people, three more stories that you're going to relate to. I'm going to quickly do a screen share before we start, gang. I will introduce them to you even on screen here first. Okay, so this is Transformation Thursday. Once again, our physical therapy is on our terms. Every one of us are going to approach this different. I'm not asking them to tell you how to do your physical therapy. All they're going to do is share their personal story. We're all on that journey together, trying to figure it out, quite honestly, because we wake up every morning with new things. But thank you to DDP himself and Steve Yu for even launching this. So today you get to hear from three more. So Richard, if you had watched his post, he had said, I've made Sundays my DDPY PT day, currently working on shoulders and knees. I rotate number 3, 4, and 5. So Richard will share his journey. Then Shaun's going to share his. And by the way, I must explain that Shaun is coming up. If you're looking for the name on Facebook, it's G.S.Hunt. That is Shaun. So he's doing that just to test us. I know, Shaun. I know that's the deal. But anyhow, so Shaun had posted Back Builder 2 and 3, and you can read more of what he did. But Shoulder Strong, some now to work on erect left shoulder, and PT series have refined my life for the better. So Shaun's going to give you his story, and then Kay's going to pull it in at the end here, and she's going to share shoulder PT number 3. In the book, she said, lots of moves to work on and increase range of motion for the silly shoulder. I call my knees silly too. And then she goes on to say, I am so thankful for these workouts. Oh my gosh, me too. It has given me freedom in my knees. I've now been out on my trike 4 days in a row, gang, because the knee hab took me to a much better place. So I have put in over 4 hours on my trike in the last 4 days and loving every minute, but it's because of the PT. So Richard, if you wouldn't mind, share with them your thought process, what your journey looks like and how you're using PT in that.
Okay, well, I'm in my 13th week program. I'm in I think I'm in the 5th week of the 13th week program. And pretty much my 13 weeks consist now mostly of the power cuff workouts, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, with some other things that I do in the morning to get anywhere between 60 and 70 minutes in before I go to work. And then on the weekend.
Pause there a second. Did you actually hear? He's still working in addition to this. Richard, I'm 69. What did you tell me your age was before?
I'm 71.
71, gang. So he's still working a full-time job, which is a very physical job. So do tell him what your job is too, because it's easy for people, some of us, to say, well, yeah, easy for you. You have nothing to do but sit around your house. And Richard, you are the example of the opposite. So make sure and add what you do for a living too.
Well, I'm fortunate to be able to help my son with his business. He has a landscaping company. So I'm kind of like a foreman. I pick up the crew, drive them, pick up materials, and I do have to do physical stuff once in a while, and I have to be ready for it when I do it, whether it be unloading cement or shoveling rocks and stuff out of the truck into the wheelbarrows and stuff like that. So physically, I fill in, but I'm out there with them all day in the sun. It's been pretty hot the last week, but so I try to get my DDP done in the mornings before work. It's Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. It's power cuffs. Tuesdays and Thursdays. I've changed it this program period to be stand up because I'm really want to get more working on my balance and stand up. And then I do a total body. So I do about a half hour stand up and a half hour of total body. And then on the weekends, I generally will do, like on Saturdays, whatever the live workout was for the week. I try to do about 75 minutes of DDP on Saturdays. And then I go for a walk or a ruck. And I ruck with some weight in a backpack, about 20 to 30 pounds. Sundays is my day that I've carved out to be what I call my reset day. So I try to take it easy physically and just keep myself active. I'll go for a walk. And then when the PT, DDPY PT came out, I went through all 5 programs for all 5 for both shoulders, knees, and back. And because I was having some issues with my shoulder, my right shoulder, and occasionally my left knee, I really focused on those 2 things for the PT, and I liked it. And it made me feel that the focus of the stretching of those particular body parts, the joints, helped. So it made me feel more confident doing what I'm doing the other 6 days. So I've made it part of my regular routine now. So on Sundays, I'll go for a walk, and I'll come back and then I'll do my PT. I do shoulders, and I rotate between the 0-3 and the 0-4 and the 0-5. So one week I'll do 0-3, the next week I'll do 0-4, and then the following week 0-5, and then I rotate it again for the 13 weeks. And I do it that way because I think that there's small differences, but they're unique to what makes me feel like I'm increasing the movement. And to me, what PT does is assure me that I'm moving my shoulders and my knees, which are bothering me a little bit here now and then, in a way that is, that, I don't know if where's that coming from.
Is that coming from your house?
No?
Hey, Bill, turn it down.
Oh.
Yes, it's my house.
No worries, Kate. No, no worries, Kate. Yeah.
No problem. I didn't know where it's coming from on mine, but I find that the whole thing that I get out of the PT exercise is that I'm moving the parts of my body which I feel are the ones that need the attention in a way that I feel comfortable doing it. I feel I'm gaining flexibility, I'm gaining movement, and I'm doing it in a way that I feel comfortable that I'm not going to hurt it any further. Whereas during the week, when I'm doing my power cuffs and my total body, even stand up, with stand up, I try to really focus on engaging and keeping my heart rate in the zone. And you know, even, sometimes just even doing a diamond cutter, you move a little bit funny, and you could all of a sudden tweak it, and you feel like now my shoulder hurts more. And I don't feel that as often now that I've been doing the PT on Sundays. So I've made it part of this 13-week program. So every Sunday I'll be doing it. And it's a half hour of shoulder and then a half hour of knee. And it's rotating between the 0-3, the 0-4, the 0-5. I don't do the 1 and the 2 because I feel they're included in the other 3.
Yeah.
And I've sent it to people that are family and friends that are complaining about their backs and shoulders that don't do any exercise at all. And I say, you need to take a look at DDPY PT program, because even if you don't want to exercise, if you got a bad back, or if you got a sore knee or bad knee or a shoulder, my son's father-in-law hurt his back and his shoulder within weeks of each other. And he's been hurting ever since. It's been going on 2 months now. I just try this. I know you're going to a chiropractor, you're going to a doctor, but in between their visits, ask them if it's okay to do some of these exercises. I think you'll feel better, because it's all about movement. And that's why I do it the way that I do it.
Yeah. Well, I love too that you don't just do this stuff. I mean, you share it with your family and friends. I mean, all your stories always include who you told next, right? So,
Yeah, I mean, I'm blessed that most of the family is exercising as well. So while we don't all do DDPY, we do share our successes and our issues with each other.
yeah, pretty cool. Because I wasn't the testimony raising our family. I mean, seriously, I fed them TV dinners, as much sugar as they want. I mean, I was not the testimony of let's go out for a walk after dinner. None of that. So it is cool that at least now at this point, I'm going to be influencing our grandchildren to a different journey, right? So, yeah.
Well, I think the big thing about DDPY is that it's not just exercise. It is nutrition. It is a complete lifestyle change. And that to me is what's important.
Yep, exactly. Yep, exactly. Well, Mr. Shaun over there, welcome. This is the first time, by the way, I've talked Shaun into coming on. I may not get him back again. It's always a test if I can get someone back. But welcome, Shaun. I love having you in our 55 plus family. Are you bold enough to tell us your age?
I am, Pam. Thanks for the invite, by the way. I am 63.
Wow, it's a young boy.
It's funny. 6 months ago, I was thinking of myself as 63 years old. I can't think that way anymore. It just doesn't come out. I'm 63. I'm not the 63 years young yet, but it's just changed my whole outlook on stuff. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah. Now you're going to make me cry because I totally relate to that. Yep.
I found actually DDPY through my son. He sent me a it was a bootleg copy actually of the old yoga for regular guys stuff.
Yeah.
And it just had a few workouts on it, but I was pretty wrecked. um I've had arthritis all my adult life, and everybody knows it progresses, and if you don't take care of yourself, and I had a reckless youth. I was, 10 foot tall and bulletproof. Nothing could hurt me. And I could get up, take a hit and get right back up. I didn't know that 30 years later, I'd pay for every one of those.
Exactly.
And I'd been seeing a chiropractor since I was in my 30s.
Oh.
And it was progressively getting a little worse. But in '09, it really went out bad. And I've worked a lot of jobs that were physically demanding and was never athletic or anything. I'm actually about half clumsy. I don't have great balance or anything. So never went for sports or all of that. But I wound up doing a lot of jobs that were very physically demanding. I was a heavy equipment and a truck mechanic for several years. I drove truck for several years, and that will beat you up in its own special way, especially your back. And anyway, I'd kind of transitioned into more of an office job with occasionally driving a truck. And anyway, in '09, my back really started getting bad. And I got to the point the chiropractor couldn't get an adjustment on me anymore. So he told me, dude, we got to get you an MRI. So I was hurting really bad, but it takes so long to get an appointment. By the time I got the MRI, I was fine. And that's life.
Yeah.
Here's the funny thing, and maybe some of you have experienced this.
Mhm.
You walk in and they say, okay, you lay down on here, and you walk in, you lay down, they say, yeah, hold your arms straight. They're very rigid and very cold about your instructions. They do the procedure, come back out, and there's two people standing. Oh, careful now, don't move anything, be very careful when you get up. It's like I'm in the same condition I was when I got here 10 minutes ago. But when they saw my results, they could see, oh, you're all screwed up. Yeah, I knew that. Bottom line, I went and saw a spinal specialist. He was a surgeon. He consulted with another guy in his practice, and I had one bulging disc in T8 and T8 was ruptured. 7 other discs were bulging, and I had arthritis in every vertebrae from my neck all the way down. So it had eroded where the cup of your vertebrae sits and the disc sits in it. The arthritis had eroded the edges away. And the discs, I had degenerative disc disease related to the arthritis. So anyway, it just let things move too much. Mm-hmm. And he told me, he says, you're not a surgical candidate because if I fix one, he says, it's going to be a cascade reaction. He said, the next one will get worse and like that. I said, okay, well, what's my options? He goes, well, he said, be careful. He says, be thankful you can still walk and we can put you on pain management.
Yeah. I remember reading that. You said 5 doctors told you, we'll just give you pain management, right?
Yep. I went back to my regular doctor. He referred the results, said, wow, you're a mess. Can't help you. You want drugs? Chiropractor took one look at it. He goes, dude, I can't touch you. Two other chiropractors over the next several years. I went to them and I insisted they take x-rays first. Oh, yeah, no, it's no problem. It took x-rays and said, oh, sorry, can't help you. We might make it worse. The last doctor that I had x-rays, that's my current doctor. And he says, well, he said, I want to see my current x-ray. And so I got the x-rays done and he reviewed it. And his question was, how long is, he was talking to my NP about it. He goes, how long has he been on disability? And he goes, she goes, nobody, he says, nobody with this kind of x-ray could be, still working. And I said, no, I'm working every day. But all this taught me how to really manage pain in my head. As that Dallas says, that 6-inch piece of real estate. I developed my own little tricks of visualizing it and then pressing it down and make it go away.
Yeah.
All that led me to this year. It wasn't working anymore. The arthritis had gotten a lot worse in every joint, and I was slowing down. I'd put on a lot of weight, and I was running out of road. I was leaning on too many things, walking around all the time, and I was beginning to wonder much longer I was going to be able to walk without a cane or something.
Wow.
That's when my son sent me those videos.
Yeah.
It's like, I got nothing to lose. I'll try it. Then he sent me the Arthur video. So I started trying it. I just started with the wake up. I tried doing the Diamond Dozen. I couldn't make it halfway through. I was in such bad shape.
Yeah.
Halfway through, I was dying. I was on the floor flat. But I started doing the wake up. And I said, all right, I'm going to do this every day for a week and see if I can manage that. End of a week, I realized one morning, man, I feel this is the best I've felt in years. So signed up for the program and away I went. And the first program I did it wasn't even considered PT. It was the Back Builder series.
Yeah.
This was in February.
Yes.
And I can't believe what a difference it made in my life. I just stuck to it. And the better I felt, I started doubling up. I do wake up every morning and I made myself do one of the workouts every 6 nights a week.
Hmm.
And Matt's a fantastic instructor too. He knows how to instruct you how to move when you're not at full strength.
Right.
And by the time I got done with it, I was changed. And my wife started doing it. And then we started getting deeper into the nutritional side. And now I'm down 11 pounds from my peak weight back in January.
Excellent.
The sciatica that I'd had for 15 years is almost gone in my left leg. I can feel my toes again. It's nothing short of miraculous. And so after I finished that series, I signed up for Beginner 2.0. And I'm about halfway through that. And I'm sprinkling in the shoulder PT on some of my off days. I alternate between the shoulder PT and Back Builder 2 and 3. I'm doing like Richard, I kind of rotate them through.
Yes.
And the shoulder PT actually, I was going harder into it, and I had to back off a little bit. Turned out that a lot of old injuries in my left shoulder started showing up when I started breaking loose all that scar tissue.
Yes.
And calcium buildup from the arthritis. So I'm working through that right now. And a couple weeks ago, I added power cuffs. I'm not doing the power cuff workouts yet, but I am using them on my daily workouts. And even I can feel the difference.
Cool.
And I haven't felt this good since I was 50.
Oh,
Actually, I feel better now than I did back in 09. In 09, I was 48 years old. And that's when it really went south on me. I feel better now than I did then at the age of 48. And even though I'm heavier, I'm still in better shape.
well, that will come though, Shaun. I mean, you know, the
That's
nutrition pillar is its own pillar in itself, but it really sounds like you've taken your fitness pillar and changed your life already just with that
oh
pillar.
yeah. And the fitness is, you know, a lot of it. The nutrition's really cool. And like I say, now I'm starting to lose the weight. And I'm doing 1 or 2 pounds a week,
Excellent.
which I'm fine with that because I'm just gonna keep going on this. My plan is probably just keep going on this in some fashion until they throw dirt in my face.
Me too. Me too.
And Pam, by the way, your challenge video, when you called out the people your age statement, when you
Yeah.
nailed it, nailed it. The next
Well,
person that says, well, somebody your age, there may be violence.
well, you know, Steve, you creates that video, but you said in a very, very long interview before, and then later you figure out what he picks out. And when I
Yeah.
heard that, you guys probably have caught on. I really don't want to ever offend people. It's really just not who I am, right? And when he picked those particular pieces and put them together, I'm like, oh crud, everybody's gonna think I'm the mean and naughty person that's
No,
judging them. But
no, you were
I
you were
trust
calling it.
he knew what would move the ball down the court. He knows what
Yeah,
moves the people. So
absolutely.
how do you feel
But
about it? Because I got to see it before they launched it. I said, Steve, I trust you. Whatever you think should go out, that's what should go out. So I
yeah,
thank you, Shaun, for giving me the first input that's actually made that part okay for me. Because you know, they
well,
launched it in December.
because it's pure fact. And I was told by all these doctors and chiropractors and everything, you know, you're broken, dude. There's nothing we can do. Sorry about your luck. You want some drugs?
Exactly.
And no, thank you. I'll find another way. And I didn't know what I was going to do for a long time, but thank God I found this. And my wife and I have what we call DDP moments almost daily when we wind up talking to somebody and say, by the way, let me tell you about something.
Exactly. And I think it's cool that your son led you there because it was our son that led me too. I would have
Yeah,
never, I wasn't into wrestling, didn't pretty much everything about how that looked as a company wouldn't have been anything I would have even checked out. Right.
me neither. I honestly, I didn't know who DDP was.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll be honest.
Yeah.
Oh, one goal that I have many goals. One particular is I want to be able to walk upright and strong into my granddaughter's high school graduation. She's 2.
Oh,
So that's one
I,
of my longer range goals at the moment.
I think you're going to make it. You know, they do graduations for kindergartners now, all these different age groups. I think you're going to make it that one too.
Well, I'm talking to high school. So
Yeah.
that's one of my longer range goals.
Awesome.
And
Well,
then,
we'll be
and then
cheering
after
you
that,
on.
college.
We'll definitely be cheering you on. And even the Power
Thanks.
Cup thing, make sure and connect with Richard if you have any questions about the Power Cup thing, because that's been a part of his journey for a while now, hasn't it, Richard?
Yes, this whole year started in
I
November.
I follow Richard's posts a lot, and his explanations are so precise. It's amazing to me.
I was the CB student in school, so I really appreciate the ones like Richard. It's like, oh, so smart. I love you,
Yeah,
Richard. You know how much I adore you because you are a whole nother breed, and I learn from you all the time.
Well,
Yeah.
I have we all have our different battles.
Yes.
And the main thing is that we have in common is our age. And we have to deal with our age accordingly, even though we're at different stages in our fitness and nutrition and aging journey. We're going to continue to age, but how we age and how we enjoy our wellness and our ability to do things we want to do is something that's up to us. And I think, and I spend a lot of time listening to expert sources about fitness and nutrition. And the more they talk, the more I'm convinced that DDPY is the best program for any age, but especially for the 55 plus, because we've got to maintain our strength as well as our mobility, and that there's nothing better.
Yeah. Yeah, I love, Richard, really, that you have studied so many other things and continue. You're just a studious person, and everything pulls you back to, yeah, DDPY. That's the answer right there. So very cool. Very cool. And Shaun, thank you for being so transparent. I think I've been crying, but I appreciate your transparency. Huge, huge.
You know, I just like folks to know the different, I think it's important for the people, especially in this group, to know what other people go through and can still get gains, still have gains from it, that they're not alone when they're wrecked and they're broken or they're riddled with arthritis, or
Right.
they've been told by other people, oh, you're done. Just be happy to breathe.
Yeah. And I
No,
relate to this story when you said, you felt 63 years old initially, right? That's exactly, I felt 67 years old when I started. It was only about death for me. And so when I became later that year, 67 years young, I'm like, oh my word, I feel 15 to 20 years younger. So
yeah,
it's really true. We get our health back. It changes everything. Even in my photographs, I'm like, that woman looks really old. It's like, it's a crazy thing. Well, last but certainly not least is my sweet friend Kay. And Kay has been on other interviews with me, bless your heart. So when you said yes, I'm like, yes, she still likes me. Okay.
Someone's coming back.
I know. I always wonder when I reach out, will someone, but I shared with you guys in the beginning before we even started recording this. I think it's so important that people realize the differences of what we have. We have rich personalities and stories within our family. And I don't know if I mentioned it yet on this, but we passed 1,900 of us a few days ago, I guess. So we are growing exponentially. So very cool. So, Kay, tell us your journey, sweet friend.
All right. I've been doing DDPY daily for about 1.5 years now. I started the physical therapy part probably a month ago, I'm going to say. I was bringing my groceries in from Aldi's, and I just thought I was like a pack mule, and I didn't want to make more than one trip, So I've got all these things, and I felt it. Oh, I felt it. And I knew I had hurt myself, but I didn't know about the PT stuff yet. So I started going to my chiropractor, and he was trying to work on it, but the advice he was giving me was, don't do anything. Don't do anything. And I knew that if I didn't do something, that it was going to freeze. I mean, I could just feel like I was losing mobility rapidly. So that's when they came on with this physical therapy thing. I thought I was going to have to buy a whole nother program. I can't tell you how excited I was when I saw it's included. We have it. So I scrolled all the way down to the bottom, found the shoulder stuff, and I'm alternating now between 1, 2, and 3. On 4, it starts with 2 diamonds, and I'm not quite there yet. But I am telling you, I cannot tell you the difference. When I first started with that number 1, it hurt. Everything he had me do hurt. But I realized I was trying to make too much progress too soon. So I slowed down. I was like, okay, I'm just going to do this first one. It's only like 10 minutes. But the moves were exactly what I needed. And when he talked about these muscles and how they'll shorten up and we need to lengthen them back, when he talked about that, it's like, yes, that is exactly what I'm feeling when I do these exercises. They're lengthening. I can hold my arm out now, where before, I mean, it was it was down and stuck, and I could not do a thing with it. So I'm so excited because now I'm back to going to the gym 3 times a week. I do weightlifting with a friend,
Wow.
doing my DDPY every day. I cannot say enough good about those physical therapy um, exercises. And Matt, like you said, what an incredible instructor. My husband, he has trouble with his back. And I finally got him to try the back builder with Matt. Now, granted, he's been doing them for, I bet he's been doing it for 6 months, but he's still on number one, and he stays on number one, and he's not going to number two till number one is perfect. But you know what? The benefit for his back has just been, he was going to the chiropractor 3 times a week just to get through a work week. And now that's backed off. He only goes once a week. And I'm thinking pretty soon he's probably gonna, only have to go once every 2 weeks. But it has made such a difference in our lives. I just can't say enough good about it.
So you alternate 1, 2, and 3, correct? So what do you mean by alternate? Monday, one of them, or
Yep. On Monday I do 1, Tuesday I do 2, Wednesday I do 3, and then I start back again. But I'm also now able to do other DDPY workouts, where before I was just doing those and barely getting by. But I find it hard to be patient with myself.
Oh, me too.
I would tell other people, oh, just, you're doing great. Yeah. Not, for myself, I'm just like so irritated with myself. But I'm so excited because my niece just had a baby 3 months ago. She's gone back to work, and I am taking care of the little baby,
Oh, wow.
picking her up, holding her. And if it wasn't for that shoulder PT, I would have had to tell her no. But
And really, you guys, this is really about, we just want our lives back, right? We want
I just
live a healthy, full life. That's why we're doing PT and even just in general DDPY.
Yeah.
So I don't think that we're all wanting to be some kind of, major athlete here, but we definitely want 100% quality of life. Like what you're saying, hey, being able to hold a baby that you value. I mean, these things mean something.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
wow. And
So
go ahead.
I was also going to give a plug for our Balancing Buddies group.
Good, because I was just going to say that as well. So I have people all the time say, where's that balancing thing? I know there's a balancing promotion going on. And I'm always like, well, you have to leap over. But Kay was significant in setting that whole thing up, of course, with Diane Cusco, right? And so Kay, share a little bit about that, and then we'll make sure that we share that link today so people can find their way over. But share what that is.
Right now we're working on Roundhouse. So, I think Richard mentioned stand up with Big G. If you ever go through that video, he gives such great step-by-step instructions. And so if you can't do the entire roundhouse, you can do step 1, you can do step 2, and so on. So anyway, we're working on roundhouse. I'm not very good at it yet.
You describe what roundhouse is, because we have brand new people that may not even know what the roundhouse is.
Yes, the roundhouse is where you reach down and you get your foot and then you hold your foot out to the side. I'm sure you've seen people do it.
But they may not know what it's called.
That is what it's called, the roundhouse. So that is what we're working on in that group right now. But Diane hurt herself. And so I'm excited to see what she has for us in June. She's been practicing her broken airplane. I think she calls it crashing airplane. So I'm wondering if that's going to be our June challenge. But yeah, she's not letting that fall stop her. She is crawling and doing workouts all of her own. So yeah.
Cool.
So
yeah, so we'll put that link, because if you want to be a part of that, you go over to that private Facebook group and you can post, correct, Kay, you post your actual journey there.
Yep, you'll ask to join first, and then once you're a part of the group, yes, you can post videos of yourself trying to do these roundhouse things, and they'll give you, different people will give you advice, you know, how to do it better. And yeah, it's a fun group.
Ah, fun. Yeah. And I think Diana told me, she said, we're almost to 100 people, Pam. And I'm like, that is so great because it gives people a spot that they can practice on a certain thing that has to do with balance or whatever. So pretty cool. Well, before we hang up, you guys, I want to give you all a chance. Is there anything else you want to say to our 55 plus family? Let's see, Richard, you can go first. Anything you want to share with them?
If you haven't taken the time to look at the DDPY P.T, take the time. It's different than doing. I used to when I would hurt myself, I've been doing this now since April of 21, so it's going on 3 years. I would go back to the Diamond Dozen, or I would go back to one of the beginner what I would call stretching workouts that were mostly stretching, which was the Diamond Dozen. And I couldn't stay doing it regularly. I'd end up going back to a normal workout. But the PT exercises really do work. And they're worth making sure you know what they do so that when you need it, you can feel comfortable moving to it. And if you're fortunate enough to work it into your workout, I recommend doing it like I've done it, at least once a week, and for 30 minutes minimum, because it makes a difference.
Cool. Cool. What about you, Mr. Shaun?
I'd agree with Richard. It's can't put words on how good it can be for you. Your back hurts, your shoulders, your knees. Check it out because there's special workouts designed by people that know what they're doing to really rehab it and get it right. A lot of people our age, you got hurt along the way as you're going through life, but you never got physical therapy for it. You just sucked it up and moved on. And it left wreckage and damage and scar tissue that needs to be worked on. Do it. It can help you. It can make you better, make you younger.
I like that younger part too, Shaun. Good plug for us. We're going younger, all of us, right? How about you, Kay? Anything you want to close with?
Well, I would just say that if you are watching this, that means you already have the app. Physical therapy is expensive, but not for us. It's at our fingertips every single day. Take advantage of it.
Awesome. And I'm like her when it launched, I thought, oh, so I'm going to have that expense added to my. So I actually signed up for that site, that $24, whatever that was. And then I forgot when I found out later that day that we get it for free in our app. I forgot to go over. So the first month it pulled that money out of my account. I'm like, shoot, I need to go over and get that automatic thing. I'm not even sure if I've gone back yet and canceled it. Maybe when I get off this thing, I better go check. What do you think? Yeah.
You better do that.
Yeah, I better. But thank you guys. Love you tons. Appreciate you more than you know. Seriously. Thank you for giving to our 55 plus family everything you do. Oh, let's do it. Oh, what do we do? Yep. Bang. Love you.
Bang.